St. Martha's Home for Children was supposed to save them, orphans with nowhere else to go. But in 1952, a fire swept through the building. 43 children died in their beds. The doors had been locked from outside. Someone had wanted them to burn. Sarah was a social worker assigned to assess the property. A developer wanted to tear it down, build apartments. She had to confirm it was empty, safe. Just an old building with a sad history. Nothing more. But Sarah had grown up in foster care. Orphanages haunted her already. Sarah arrived at sunset. The building was massive, Victorian. The windows were dark, but she thought she saw movement. Curtains shifting, small faces. She blinked and they were gone. Just imagination. Just the weight of history. She unlocked the door and stepped inside. The main hall was frozen in time. 1952 furniture, children's drawings on the walls, burned at the edges, toys scattered on the floor, covered in dust and ash, and everywhere the smell of smoke, as if the fire had just happened. As if it was still burning somewhere. Sarah heard laughter. Children's laughter echoing from upstairs. She froze. The building was supposed to be empty. Had homeless people moved in? Children? She called out. The laughter stopped. Then a voice, high and sweet. Will you be our mother? They came down the stairs. Dozens of them, in nightgowns and pajamas, burn marks on their skin, smoke rising from their hair, but smiling, so happy to see her. You came back, they said. We knew you would come back, Mother. Sarah had never been here before. A figure appeared behind the children. Tall, severe, burned beyond recognition, but still standing, still commanding. Children, she snapped. We do not speak to strangers. Go to your rooms. The children scattered like frightened mice. The matron turned to Sarah. You should not be here. Sarah ran, but the doors were locked. The windows would not open. She was trapped, just like the children had been. The matron followed slowly. I locked those doors, she said. They were bad children, disobedient. They needed to be punished. They still do. And now, you will help me. The children found Sarah. Hiding. Please, they whispered, help us. She hurts us every night, makes us remember the fire. We just want to leave. We just want a mother to take us away. Sarah looked at their burned faces, their desperate eyes. She had been an orphan too. She understood. The oldest child explained. The matron's power came from the keys. The same keys she used to lock them in. Destroy the keys, and her power breaks. The children could finally rest. But the keys were around her neck, and she never took them off. Even in death. The children created a distraction. They ran through the halls, screaming, breaking rules. The matron raged after them. "Stop this instant. You will all be punished." While she was distracted, Sarah crept toward her office, where the matron spent her nights, where her power was strongest. The matron's office was exactly as it had been in 1952. Ledgers, punishment records, a cabinet full of confiscated toys, and on the desk a photograph. The matron, younger, with a child, her child, who had died of fever a year before the fire. The matron had gone mad with grief. The matron appeared behind Sarah. "Looking at my past," she hissed. "I lost my child. Why should these orphans live when my daughter died? I gave them what they deserved, and I will give you the same." Fire bloomed in her hands. The room began to burn. But the children came back. All 43 of them. They surrounded the matron. "We are not afraid anymore," the oldest said. "You cannot hurt us. We are already dead." They grabbed her arms, her legs, holding her still. Now they shouted to Sarah, "The keys. Take the keys." Sarah reached through the flames. Her hands burned, but she did not stop. She grabbed the keys around the matron's neck, pulled. The chain snapped. The matron screamed. The children screamed. The fire screamed. And then, silence. The fire went out. The matron crumbled to ash. The children stood in moonlight, their burns fading, healing. "Thank you," they said. "We can go now. We can find our real families." One by one, they began to rise, floating toward the ceiling, toward the light beyond. The youngest child remained, a girl of perhaps 5. She looked at Sarah. "I do not remember my family," she said. "I was here since I was a baby. Will you remember me?" Sarah knelt down. "I will remember all of you. Always." The girl smiled and rose to join the others. Sarah walked out of St. Martha's as the sun rose. The building looked different, smaller, sadder. Just an old structure with a tragic history. Her hands were burned. She would have scars, but they were worth it. 43 children were finally at rest. Sarah filed her report. The building was empty, safe for demolition. She did not mention the ghosts. Would not have been believed anyway. But she made one recommendation: build a memorial, a playground, something to remember the children who died there. They deserved that much. St. Martha's was demolished 6 months later. A memorial playground stands in its place. Children play there every day, living children, but sometimes late at night, neighbors hear laughter, happy laughter. 43 voices playing together at last, finally free. Sweet dreams.